Yeah, so today's episode is, I want to say, a special one because I haven't tried this before, where I'm actually going to be the guest of today's episode. And today's host is going to be my lovely girlfriend, Jackie. She's going to be questioning me on like how I do others, or maybe even better. She has total control to ask me whatever she wants. My DMs, the side females, all that.
You don't shut your ass up.
No, but all kidding aside, yeah, I'm definitely excited because I've been wanting to do an interview of for me or of my own for a while now. So, and I thought, why not just do it on my platform? You know, and thank you for doing this. You know, I wasn't sure. To tell you the truth, I thought you were gonna say no right away. You know, because
I mean, I kind of always wanted to do like something with you, but I'm like, I don't know why he didn't want me on his podcast for, because I've been retired from art, so.
yeah, but well, it was either going to be you or my cousin Junior because you guys have seen me or been around me more than the average person. So you guys see me in my highs and my lows. So, you know, I thought, why not somebody like that, you know? And you have total will of to ask me whatever you want, you know. So if it's something that might bash me, go ahead, you know. I have no I don't want to hide it, in other words, you know. So.
Where were we on? No, I'm just saying.
And that's and stay tuned and stay safe. Roll the credits. Roll the credits.
Shut your ass up. All right. So when you asked me, I was like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, I got this, you know? Mm-hmm. Which I do feel like in that moment, if you would have been like, okay, let's do it today, I would have been like, okay, yeah, and just started freestyling questions off the dome. But now I'm like, we waited a couple of days. Yeah. I think I got it though.
Yeah, I definitely wanted you to, because for the people that don't know, I asked her through text and she said yeah, and I told her not to tell me, right?
Yeah, you said don't tell me what questions or anything like that. Like, you want to be caught off guard.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Which makes sense. Have a more natural reaction to your questions. Mm-hmm.
So I went like that.
All right, so I guess since we're starting off the podcast differently today, I'm the captain now.
Yes. Nice basement. I would have gotten a little bit more classier, but.
I'm just playing. So, since this episode's all about you, to kind of let people know more who you are, give your background and stuff like that. So, if you, I guess, basically, one of the basic questions, how would you describe yourself as an artist?
Now that one is a hard one because I used to describe myself as an artist as just pencil and paper and just being a drawing artist. But you know, over the years of on and off, and then finally trying to be on consistently since 2021, I believe, is when I can say I'm a creator now. Yeah, I definitely wanna describe myself as a creator because I went from pencil and paper to creating like 3D figures that just came out of nowhere, and that anything 3D diorama, that's the stuff I kind of love. The still life of something. So seeing stuff like that, somewhat paintings, but not too much. I'm still beginner in the painting, so I can't really say I'm a painter. Too much, too much.
I mean, there's different levels to it, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love to mess with it, like throw it on stuff and like maybe color in some drawings, but uh, to paint it, no, I can't do that. To like, I mean, to paint it properly like a brush artist.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know if I made sense on that.
I mean,
Cause
I think I know what you're trying to say.
yeah, because even now, even though I say I'm a creator, it might change later on. Like I might be, fucking.
But creator is anything, though, really.
Yeah.
So it's not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, like,
And sorry to cut you off, but that's why I say I'm a creator because that could be anything. It can be either this, it can be art, it can be clothing.
that's true.
So yeah, it kind of gradually. So I can't really define how I describe myself as an artist, but
Right.
I would be comfortable telling people I'm a creator, being a creator of whatever comes my way. Because some things pick up, some things drop off.
Okay. Gotcha. Because I've definitely seen you try different things. So at first, obviously, you were just like mostly doodles, names, and stuff like random words
Yeah.
in calligraphy, which is nice. And then, you draw regular old school way, just pencil paper. Well, you like to use more markers, pens before.
Yeah, but and that's something I would like to have a discussion with you if you feel like you have an opinion on it. Like, I really don't consider too much the markers being considered like actual painting. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's
It has paint, but it's not really like painting like the classic way, which is brush.
Well, yeah, but that's different though.
Mm.
I mean, they're two different mediums. People use like those fancy markers that you have for all their stuff. Like when people do those like fashion design things, they use stuff like they just use markers and stuff. I mean, they look nice and everything. So whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I've never really been educated on art. I took class
In high school.
in high school, but it was like close to the end of the years of my high school, and I wasn't even paying attention at the time. I was just trying to be cool.
What's new? No, I'm just like um. So obviously, I know you've always been interested in art in some form.
Mhm.
So going back to the beginning, what
Mhm.
would you say even caught your eye when it comes to art? What made you stick with it?
Well, what made me stick with it was not being good. It was just drawing in
Oh,
general. Like I mean, just drawing it and like the emotions I would have at the time drawing or doodling always like helped.
it was more like a therapy for you,
There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that was since very little.
Yeah. Well, no, when I was little, it was cool. But as I grew up, as I grew up, like it took more of a emotional therapy feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because after a while, it was like it wasn't even about being cool anymore. Because it was kind of annoying people knowing that I drew. And they're like, "Oh, draw me something, bro. Draw me something." It was fun.
I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know that
yeah.
be
Yeah, so like it was cool at first, like, oh man, all these
like
people.
people hyping you up, and
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit, people think I'm cold, but
yeah, yeah, and then after a while, it was just like it became too much of a headache. Some people being let down because I couldn't draw them stuff. So I was like,
I mean, you gotta know your limits though as an artist.
yeah,
Sometimes people will be asking for stuff you can't do.
yeah, yeah,
So
and that's something I learned. No, I kind of learned late. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, at least you'd attempt it.
Yeah. I definitely tried as much as I can, but sometimes I took on too much and I kind of just dropped it.
What would you say are your weaknesses in art then?
Weaknesses is patience. I hate being patient, and that's something with paint, because you gotta let it
To
dry.
dry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even with my can monsters, there's time where I get frustrated just because the clay takes time, and the clay that I use, it's it when it dries, it shrinks, so it can form different after a while.
Because it's just like modeling clay you use.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. You don't think about that, but when you try.
And then also, I believe my weakness is realism. I hate realism. Me doing it, but I love watching, Chicano art, Mr. Cartoon, people like that. My cousin.
Sounds. I'm with you there. Like always, like when it comes to drawing people, I'm trash.
Mm.
I would at least be able to draw girls a little better than my guys always looked feminine.
Yeah.
So,
And that's funny too, because my girls would look busted, but
oh, I know they look swole as hell with like a harsh ass like hairline.
yeah.
I'm like, damn, pobrecilla.
Yeah. That's something that I mean, I don't know if you count that as realism too, but I think it is. Like drawing females. That's a big weakness. Something I want to do, but I just can't because I don't know how to capture the beauty.
It's just a lot of practice.
Oh hell yeah, a lot
Cause
of practice.
I don't know, you have to kind of see
I
like
got
references too.
I gotta see a lot of girls.
Like, I don't know about all that.
Hit up Zstudios 815 on Instagram.
I'm just playing. Oh, okay. But I just always wondered. Obviously, I don't know like your whole family like that, but like if you're beginning an art started somewhere like from your family, I just never know like for sure if someone got you into it first, or was it just like from school you started and
well,
it got you interested and just stuck with it.
how I came across it the first time, like drawing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I would see my dad come from work and he would doodle on like the newspapers.
Mm.
And from that, one day I believe I asked him like, "What are you doing?" And then he told me he was drawing.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, he showed me how to do like uh, you, you got to be old school. So either the San Andreas or what's it called, Blood in Blood Out. You know how they would tag on the walls,
Oh, uh-huh.
those kind of letters. That's
Yeah.
what he showed me. So
Yeah.
I took what he showed me, did my stuff with it, and then I transformed it into bubble letters,
Mm.
graffiti, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know it was graffiti until I don't know if you heard of this game called Echo. You know that brand, clothing brand.
Yeah.
They actually made a video game.
Are they really?
Yeah, of actual graffiti simulation or whatever you want to call it. Very dope. If you're old school, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then once I found out what graffiti was, I loved graffiti. Like it was definitely something cool, something dope, just expressing yourself. But at the same time, I didn't know it was expressing yourself. I just thought it was cool because you're
It look
putting,
cool as hell. Yeah.
yeah, you're putting your name up there like on the wall. Like can you get in trouble for that? Like,
Yeah.
uh, are you gonna get beat up or something? Because I used to live in Chicago, so the type of writing on the walls I would see would be gangs.
Gang shit.
So when I saw colorful tags, I was like, whoa, that's way better
Like
looking.
different things. I
Yeah.
mean, because like graffiti culture is a whole other thing.
Oh yeah,
Because it
yeah.
does get down like sometimes from what I've heard, like have heard from other people that are heavy into that stuff. Like it can almost damn near be like on some gang shit too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
people have
mean,
their own like graffiti cliques and
and
tagging each other up.
I didn't know that at the time. It just seemed cool to me, but later on, when I got older, had more common sense. Yeah, like I seen documentaries where they're like they treat it like a gang,
Yeah.
because what the main the majority of the documentaries that do come out about graffiti is usually L.A. or New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, so uh, you would see the documentaries and they would talk about crews and stuff like their gangs and stuff. But and I think that's another thing that contributed to me also wanting to be having graffiti
Mhm.
was because you're in a crew, you're
Yeah.
kicking it with people like yourself.
Yeah, it's just about like the notoriety and like being out there,
Yeah,
being known and stuff. It's kind of like going back to like it being close to gaming. It's like that 187 movie
27.
where Samuel L. Jackson's the teacher, the sub, and then it's like all these cholos
Oh, okay, yes, yes, yes,
because
yes.
they were basically a graffiti crew.
Was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I
That's
haven't
why.
I haven't seen it recently, so I
Oh,
don't know the storyline. I just know that the students didn't like the teacher.
well, obviously, yeah, they were being assholes and shit.
Yeah,
So
la
no
primera.
spoilers.
I was like,
Not the
yeah,
same movie.
yeah. Wrong reference.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever watch it again, like if you pay attention, because it's them being more like a graffiti clique than in a gang, but obviously they're acting like it's a gang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because no, sorry for any spoilers. Like they kill some dude that's like in a rival clique.
Wait, the students killed the rival clique or the
Yeah,
teacher?
no, the
Oh, okay,
students.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like again, it's been a minute, so I totally forgot the storyline.
yeah. I mean, that's neither here nor there, but like it could get that real. Obviously, the graffiti is not about that. It started with humble beginnings, just like all the other hip hop elements.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the ones I looked up to that are probably old school was like what Cope. I'm gonna chop this one up. Sprinkle Fairy
I got wrong. I'm just waiting.
or something Fairy. Shepherd Fairies. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Banksy. He was somebody I definitely wanted to be.
Yeah, and that brings up a good segue because I love graffiti too. Like anytime, especially in Mexico, it's like everywhere.
Really,
Yeah.
like gang
No, I mean there might be
graffiti.
some, but just like people just tagging shit up. It's everywhere. All the buildings and on the buses, like everywhere you go and travel, there's graffiti somewhere.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of the people that live there are like, oh, it's just fucking ugly, and they're just like ruining, which I can see. A veces gente se pasa, like,
Well, yeah. If you're doing trash, yeah.
yeah, no, but then like there's some people, at least like where we're from, um,
I'm from,
there's
I'm from the south side of Chicago.
well, like where my family comes from in
Okay, okay.
Mexico. Um, they started actually putting big murals in the
Mm.
city, and it looks really nice and stuff. And
I know there's one Mexican artist down there, Buster, one of them. Is
I
that?
don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's very dope. Yeah, he's somebody I would love to go visit down there. Shout out to my boy Adrian for showing me him. Yeah, very dope.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented people out there. Um, one of the times that I went out there, I saw it was like a pretty nice hotel. And sometimes some of like the nice places out there have like a wall, basically like cutting it off from like passing traffic and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like you go in there. It depends on where you're at and all that stuff. But anyways, the whole point to that is in order for people not to be like just tagging shit on their walls, because it was like big ass walls, clear color, whatever.
Mm.
Like either white or like a light beige. Can't remember, something like that. But obviously they want their hotel to look nice, so they don't want people like just tagging it up with random shit. So on the side of the on the side of the building or the wall where the entrance ended, they actually made a reserve spot where they're like, use this to tag whatever you guys want here.
Yeah.
I guess to like not have people. Because, I mean, people are going to do whatever the fuck they want anyways, but at
True.
least so that way they're not like, well, don't do it at all. Like, if you're going to do it here respectfully.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that respects anything will respect that. Obviously, people that don't. Fuck.
Yeah, and there's always people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But going back to the whole Banksy thing, I guess, would you consider, I know, I guess it's tricky, because it's still graffiti. Obviously, it's like a different form of graffiti, which is stenciling. But he's crossed over to this point where it's more like fine art. I don't know. Like, do you ever think that's something that you're gonna cross into at some point, or what would you consider your kind of art?
See, the thing, well, I don't know, because the thing is, I wouldn't want to be doing what Banksy does, because I think majority of his art gets stolen, and like they profit
Oh,
off it.
like off the
If I chose to do fine art, not I would do fine art if it was by me. If I knew I was gonna do it at my gallery or I was gonna sponsor whatever it is, the event. I would do it, but I don't know. I don't know right now if I can say my art fine art. I would like to cross over it. I mean, I don't.
like get there eventually.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I don't even really know what fine art is. Because I mean, when
Yeah.
you say fine art, I imagine portraits, like picture perfect portraits. That's what I consider fine art.
Yeah.
But then there's times where there's other fine art where it's abstract. So it's like,
Well, that's a specific kind of art.
yeah,
Yeah.
but so I mean, I would really love my art to be considered. I mean, I don't want to consider it because I'm still working on it, making it
Yeah.
get better. But I don't know.
I guess that's, I guess what the criteria is. It probably says on the definition. I don't know offhand, but I'm sure you have to meet like certain things to be considered like that tier of fine art or something. And I guess it just kind of made me think about something a lady told me once, which I guess I got her point, and that's I guess maybe what you to see what you were thinking about it. Because like a few years back, obviously I think I told you, or maybe you don't remember, but just to bring up the point, um, years back when I was still in high school, I want to say it was like my senior year at the Rockford Art Museum. They had like a college, whatever you call it. I forgot what they call it,
Job fair or
but
fair?
for like colleges, for like art schools.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember I went with my portfolio and like some other girls in my class and stuff that year went to. And obviously I had like some graffiti inspired pieces. And one of the ladies, I forgot from what school she was from, she was like, I really like graffiti and stuff too, but sometimes it can seem like the same thing.
Hmm.
Like if it's just the same like over and over again. Which if you really think about it, because when you're just seeing like random tags and you're just seeing them over and over again, they just do eventually kind of blend in.
Yeah.
So she was like, I would say like if you're gonna go that route, try to incorporate it into something so you stand out,
Mm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can always do that. Like, and there are people like one of the artists that I really like is Two Fly NYC. She's a female like graffiti writer. Um, I don't even know at this point because I want to say she's into fine art because she has done really nice paintings, but she'll always have like some kind of graffiti in there or
Yeah.
some like nice elements of graffiti in there. It just works really well. It catches your eye and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, and I forgot too. Like graffiti can also be depending on what medium, because there's wild style, like bombs and burners and shit.
Yeah,
But even that can be depending on who can be considered fine art.
yeah. I think it's just a matter of how you present it, how clean it looks, and I don't know if it stands out.
Yeah. But I mean, again, if I know the criterias and I meet them, then I would definitely love to have my cans be fine art. But at the same time, nah, I just be too lazy with the paintings. I'll do a painting, but it's just too much effort.
Yeah, because I guess How would you explain your whole process from beginning to end with the project?
On what?
Like anything.
Well, on painting, I once I get the sketch, which is just the circles on in the areas where I need them to be,
Mhm.
I just go coloring in them. Yeah, so I'll go from sketching to hard lining, and then I fill in. And then with the monsters, that one's a whole new process. I'm still learning, but the process I do right now is I get an empty spray can, I pop it, I let it sit out so the paint that's still moist in there
Mhm.
dries out. Uh, so it's not as toxic when I open it.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I'll cut them open, let that air out because there's like metal that flies everywhere. It's very toxic, guys. I highly recommend mask, safety, PPP, yeah, PPE,
PPE.
yeah. Oh, it's something that factories use, like
Oh, I was gonna say you're talking on the wrong one.
yeah,
Well, basically just preventative
yeah,
whatever.
equipment,
Yeah.
yeah. Cause man, metal be flying everywhere. Even though I wear goggles, sometimes it goes like on the side of the
Oh,
goggles.
and this, yeah, that shit can fuck up your eyes.
Yeah, it burns and then it stings sometimes. I be covered in metal when I don't wear a hoodie. So I wear a whole suit when I cut my cans. But once I cut them, my cans, I stuff them with clay so that way they have a nice hard base to it.
Okay, yeah.
And then once that dries up, which could take about a day, because the thickness of the bottom base is like about an inch or two, so that could take about a day or a day and a half. After that, and some of the process does take long, because once I stuff it, I'll leave it on the shelf. I'll leave it on the shelf for like a day or a couple hours, or if I'm working on something, when I'm working on something, I'll take breaks. I'll come look at the can and I'll see what I want to do to it.
Mhm.
It speaks to me. I don't speak to it.
Gotcha.
Once I cut the mouth, it speaks to me. So, I mean, it's off camera, but like that can, I once I cut the mouth, I was like, it would be cool if I put eyes on it.
Mm. You know, at that angle, you guys, sorry, you guys can't see it. It kind of reminds me of Beetlejuice
Yeah,
when old girl had her face all like that.
yeah. Yeah, and that gives me a feel of like what kind of teeth I want to use because I have sharp teeth. I got bull teeth.
Mm.
I got busted up teeth that I can use, and yeah. So once I form the mouth, I put the teeth in, and and if it has lights, that's a whole nother process. I make an X where I'm gonna put the eye and I grab a clear marble, either from the can, because some cans use clear marbles. Uh, you put it in there, and that take when it has lights, it takes even longer because the clay against glass actually gives it moisture, so it lasts longer.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a pain in the ass, you know, because there's times where I do want to brush it, just to have it to show it off, but yeah, dude, that it takes a long. It takes a process.
Yeah, because I always wonder, like, at least for the cans, how long they usually take you. Because I feel like you get through them pretty quick.
Well, the basic one is the basic tier is just the can, no tongue, and if there is a tongue, it's attached to it already. There's no magnet,
Hmm.
and just that's it. A complicated one is one with the magnetic tongue with eyes. Uh, that one up there, that one has wings. Shit. Like there's times where I get really creative and just think outside the box. There's times I'll make a display. That one's totally different from the process. I make a monster, which takes even longer because I gotta I gotta mold it to sit perfectly. So that way it just sits like an actual display trophy or a model or something.
Yeah, gotcha.
I hope I'm not all over the place.
Because I feel like I mean, you explained, but you didn't really. Well, I guess it depends on the can. I guess
Yeah. Because again,
how like
there's three. I think three or four. There's the monsters. There's the creatures. A monster and a creature is different because a monster has a face. A creature has no face. So
face no case. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
basically, it looks like something that if you touch it, it's gonna bite your hand.
Mm.
And then you got my displays, which is uh, something with a toy. I like to incorporate like little toys or figures, like a Funko Pop or a little figure or something.
Yeah.
Because those are pretty cool, My
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z ones are pretty dope.
Yeah.
And and I make trophies as well. That's a whole different thing because
Those are cool.
I
Yeah.
gotta model these little humans. So yeah, there's four types, and each one has a special process to it.
Th-
Okay.
I was gonna say, have you gotten more requests for like custom stuff?
Yes, I have. And the thing with that is, guys, I wish I could get everybody's orders in, but the amount of time it takes, and you know, the amount of time it takes is very frustrating, and I keep getting orders for every monster I get like at least 2 or 3 orders after that, and I kind of don't like to do commissions. If you see a monster you like, just buy it, and because for you to order one's gonna take longer if instead of me making it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because that's how I did start off. I was taking orders, but man, it was getting backed up to where I was like, man, who has an order? I
Yeah.
forgot whose can I was working on, and some of them I did put a hefty price, but not too much. It's one of a kind.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like it's not that pricey, but at the same time, who can afford art?
I mean,
I never try to charge an arm and a leg, but at the same time, I
you
definitely,
have to know your worth though. Like you're putting
yeah,
in a lot of time and material. It's not, and that's where the majority of the price is coming from.
yeah,
Granted, though, obviously people will be upselling and stuff like that too.
yeah.
And if you're like really well known, obviously you're gonna charge like double,
Yeah,
triple because
yeah.
of who you are.
Hmm.
I get it, but I don't know, like you still should put value into what you make.
Oh yeah. I definitely do now. Like at the beginning, I was,
I used to like lowball, and I'm like, you're spending all this time and stuff.
yeah, and again, but at the same time, I I want to say, like I before I started making my cans, which was not too long ago. I could say it's within the year I started making these cans. Before that, like I wasn't really who was I? I was just Angel, like somebody who draws, like they're not nothing really special, There's people who have names that can, be like, oh, it's that price, but it's because, the name to it,
Right.
who they are, and like I was putting a lot of time in lowballing it, but if it wasn't because of that, I definitely wouldn't have sped up where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's true. Because I know for a fact that you used to spend hella paper
Oh yeah.
because, you used to like draw before you started doing everything digitally now.
Yeah.
You would waste, I should say, waste more paper, like doodling, sketching, or sometimes when you do fuck up, you'd be like, oh, damn, I gotta redo
Oh yeah, dude.
it.
Oh my god. I'm.
And I feel bad because sometimes when you show me stuff and you're like, oh, what do you think? I'm like, you spelled that wrong.
Oh yeah, dude. I swear, I'm so happy that I went to digital because I was killing so much paper, dude. And that paper is not cheap. I mean,
You would use the cardstock stuff. That shit is.
yeah, and not just cardstock. There's also Bristol, which is a little thicker, and that can like absorb a lot of spray can paint,
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
is very cool. So Bristol, check it out. Yeah, I used to do these drawings before the spray cans. I would do these drawings. Uh, I would do a background with spray can paint, and then I would draw an image on a separate piece of paper, and then I would cut it out. So I would cut out, waste all that paper that I cut out, and then stick it on that one painted paper, and then laminate it. I mean, it's pretty cool, but
Yeah,
at the same
that looks
time,
cool.
yeah, at the same time, the process was way too long because of the cutting and the letting the stuff dry, and then the lamination. Lamination's kind of pricey,
Yeah,
depending on the thick
size and the thickness.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I've definitely seen you try different new things. Obviously, the spray cans. It has been maybe like about a year since you started making those. Before that were those drawings where it was like layered and then laminated. Regular drawings with like the nice markers. You were doing your own stickers at a
Oh my
point
god.
too. Like it was very like from the very beginning, very DIY, like you personally trying to make each step on your own and everything. Because I remember with the stickers, I can't remember the whole process, but I know you used to first, before you figured out you could laminate and stuff,
Yeah.
you used to use like just tape, like clear tape, right? Or am I
Oh
tripping?
yeah.
You used
No,
to use
that's
just the
very
right.
yeah, that's very old school, and I learned that off YouTube as well.
Yeah, I remember that because like with the shit, which ones was it?
Yeah, I used.
I no, it was something else that you were when you were drawing before with like pencil, paper, and pen, and all that. I forgot what you were working on, and sorry if I don't remember. My memory's not that good anymore. Um, you were drawing something, and I think you were trying to remake it. Like you were wanting to make copies, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, why don't you just get copies? But you would like draw them all the way from the beginning again, right? Like I know you did for Vic's comic book that you made.
Uh-huh.
Like you individually redrew everything for each copy you made.
No, no,
Or that was the plan.
no, yeah, that was gonna be the plan until I found out about copying and FedEx. Well, yeah, FedEx. They do copies and all that.
No, but I feel like there was some other shit before that though. That you kept individually having to draw over and over. And I'm like, why
Hmm.
don't you just maybe it was the stickers, I can't remember. But I'm like, you're wasting a lot of time redrawing all this stuff that you could just.
Yeah, I forgot. But yeah, I used to do it just over. I used to do each step individually over and over again because at the same time, I wasn't really educated in art. Nobody told me you can, go to FedEx and get copies of this on this type of paper. Uh, Nobody told me about. Well, granted, because this was a little bit later. I'm 93, but
You're 93, you're born in 93.
born in 93.
I'm like, you look pretty young for an old.
And yeah, just a lot of stuff I didn't know, at that time. But now that I stepped into the art world, I met a whole bunch of nice artists in the Rockford community. I learned a lot more.
Yeah, people put you on like you could save time or
Yeah, and
material doing this or.
the biggest regret I wish I would have took in was graphic design.
I mean, you can always pick that up. I mean, you're kind of there with the digital drawing.
Yeah, yeah, but I was always theoretical.
Yeah,
I
hard
was,
headed.
yeah, I was definitely theoretical the whole time with digital, well, graphic design. I always thought it was gay because it was like, where's the pencil and paper? Where's the, where's the fucking where's because
Did you just feel like there was no soul to it or something?
yeah, basically because
Okay.
you with the mouse you can swipe it and it's gonna give you an effect, right?
Hmm.
Well, with physical art, you make that.
Like you feel like it doesn't take actual skill.
Yeah,
I can see that.
but man, it might not take physical skill, but it takes mental skill.
Yeah.
Cause dude, oh my god, even with the little shit I do now, that sometimes I'm drained off like an image or two.
Yeah. And
But
especially if you're staring at the screen all the time, that starts
Yeah,
messing with your eyes.
yeah. When and I'm sitting there like just like I'm drawing like an hour right there, just slumped over on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun, because now I can take any drawing, instead of copying it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can just do it on the tablet and then just have it. I can have it made into a screen, printing, stickers, a print, all this. So I'm so thankful.
Yeah. I'm sure obviously it takes, well, granted, depending on the complexity of whatever you're working on,
Yeah.
still can take some time, but at least like it's there. You can make more than one copy,
Oh yeah.
use it more than one way. And I'm sure it's nice too, because maybe some stuff that you physically couldn't do, like you have some sort of effect that you're able to use on the tablet.
Oh yeah, that's true. With and for with me is basically a lot of like smudging. Yeah. I was never too good with smudging because I would always over smudge or not smudge enough.
Like on purpose or just when.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Uh,
And then it's not like you can. I mean, you can go back by erasing it, right? But the stain is there already.
yeah.
You know.
And that's why, well, granted, when I was in school, I want to say, I forgot which of my art teachers said that's why you gotta work from left to right. So that way you, so
Wow, physical.
yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
physical. So that way you avoid smudging.
Oh, dude.
Because, like, obviously, if you're working,
Yeah, I
depending,
know. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. Yeah, because I didn't know that until like later on. Like I would always on my old work, I would always have smudges on my
yeah,
work.
it's like inevitable.
Yeah.
But after I heard that, I'm like, you know what, that makes hella sense. So
Mhm.
you're avoiding the palm, well, the side of your palm and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's also, and I guess like when you're little, like drawing and shit, and then you're blending because you don't know how to actually blend, but you use your finger or something.
Yeah.
And they tell you not to do that in art class, and I'm like, why does it?
Really?
Fuck, yeah.
They was told me
Well,
so.
maybe not like when you're little and stuff like that, but maybe in like high school or something when it's maybe a little bit more serious.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I've been told like don't use your finger to smudge
Oh well, yeah. Your finger, yeah, no,
because of the oils and stuff.
yeah.
And I want to say one of my high school art teachers at the time, it wasn't Missy Menace. It was I think the one I had before, Miss Doherty. I don't know where she's at
Oh my
now.
God. Yeah. Want something to eat? We'll be okay. Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna lie, I feel hot with all these questions, Jackie.
I've been real tame with you. Chill.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, going back to what I was saying. Yeah, I want to say I think it was my art teacher, Miss Doherty, at the time. So she was just my art teacher freshman year.
Mhm.
Then she moved on to do other stuff. So I don't know where she is now. I'm sure she's still doing her thing. um, but no, she I think was going through some like old stuff that was in the room somewhere. And she's like, look, you guys, this is why you don't smudge with your finger. It was like some really old drawings that were somewhere around. And like that should look gross as hell because of the oils from your fingers, it left the paper kind of yellow. And that's why if you also see like old, like really old letters
Mm-hmm.
that people write, they're all yellow because of like all the oil and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why you don't use your finger to smudge when you're drawing. And same thing too with tape, like masking tape and stuff. Some of the, because she had examples of that too. The whatever the fucking adhesive of the tape.
Okay, yeah.
like leaves it looking kind of like ugly too, wherever it was.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm like, damn. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, the finger smudging, yeah, they I remember in high school they were saying don't do that. Use
The smudge
tools.
sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
use tools.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have paid attention more in high school when I went to advanced art. But man, that year when I did go to advanced art, I was just like trying to get high and be cool. And,
Yeah. I mean, how were you to know? No one knows what the fuck they're doing at the time.
yeah, that's true. Well, no, yeah, that is true, but I definitely can't say, oh, I didn't know 100%. Like I knew I had talent.
Or was that why you felt like you were slacking off? Because you're like, I know I'm decent at least or good. Like,
Yeah,
why am I?
yeah, for sure that could be one of the major things why I kind of slacked off.
Or was it the fact that you're like, well, it's an easy class?
Well, no, the basic art class, I thought that shit was easy, but the advanced, I
Advanced?
was like, holy crap.
What they make you do in your advanced one?
No, I just saw people with good talent just in there.
Oh, it made you insecure.
Yeah, and I was like,
I get
ha,
you.
fuck, man, I'm not gonna be like these guys, man. Like they're over here doing portraits and like realism. I'm over here doing like fucking cartoon tags.
True, but you'd be surprised because I used to feel that way too. Where I'd be like, damn, like she's really good at painting. Like Morgan,
Hmm.
shout out to Morgan. Um, she's an amazing painter. She's really, really good. Obviously, she does other drawings and stuff well too. And there was this other girl in our class who was really good at like pretty much anything. Like this girl can paint, she can draw, she can make stuff out of clay really nice. Like damn, like she's the one.
Yeah,
And I would always be like, damn, I wish I could paint that well or
yeah,
draw that well as old girl. But then like they'd also it works the other way, even though you feel like you might not be that good in something, someone else or maybe that same person that you're like, well, damn, I'm not that as good as them. They
yeah,
might be all like, I really like your stuff. I can never do what
yeah,
you do, which is true.
yeah. If there's one thing I'm grateful for is the people that did do realism and they saw my art, they really liked it because it's freestyle. They can't do freestyle. A lot of people got to see what they're drawing.
Yeah.
Majority of the people got to see what they're drawing. Some people just can see it in their head and just do it. But yeah, they would always tell me my shit was cool because I something that I'm grateful for is something my cousin showed me. Shout out my cousin Richard, tattoo guns. Uh, is my skulls. I would always draw skulls, and that would always get me attention because who doesn't like a skull?
Well, not just like
Well, I mean, when you see a skull in a painting,
yeah, like they look badass.
yeah,
Either way, however you feel about images of death and stuff like that, it catches your eye.
yeah,
I get you.
yeah, cause you know what it is.
I lost my train of thought for a second where we're going with this. So you had mentioned like you just freestyle like your ideas is what you're saying,
Mhm.
and that was gonna be one of my questions because I know damn well I can't just. Well, when I used to be more creative, because ideas used to just come to me, and I'd be like, all right, I'd at least do a simple sketch and then go into it.
Mhm.
I don't think you do that though. You just like start automatically drawing or coming up with whatever's in your mind.
Well, I can't really say I freestyle 100% of the time because there is some things that I do want to like an idea.
Yeah.
I I like to have an idea because freestyle can just be something random. I like to have a vision or I don't know how you want to call it. I want to have like an idea that's gonna tell a story.
Hmm.
Yeah. So and that's the thing that sucks though because when I try to do that, it can take longer because I'm waiting for that idea to hit me.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that half virgin that virgin.
That one's nice.
Yes.
The Virgen de Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that idea, I was just like, man, I want to do something with the idea of that or the yeah, like the idea of the Virgin Mary, but just something cool, you know.
with a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean you see that a couple times too, especially in Chicano culture. You know, there's a lot of images of La Virgen in different ways, like obviously skeleton like or Frida Kahlo like. You know,
Yeah.
however twist you want to put to it. It's
But when I am having fun and I'm just trying to bullshit so I can just practice on my skill, I will just freestyle, and that's like just shit. Just I just throw up like a skull like that. I can freestyle like 100%.
like because you know the base. It's
Yeah,
just however you wanna
yeah.
put a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, like how detailed I can go because I can do a basic skull like in 5 minutes, but I can do a really detailed skull in like 30 minutes to an hour.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like you've always been really good about having an idea and then boom, like already working on it and doing all that stuff. Sometimes I'd be like, if I notice something's a little off,
Yeah.
because I feel like you just go into it without really mapping it out to
Yeah.
see if it looks symmetrical or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one thing I am still learning, and there's something you do tell me often. Like, I got to map it out.
I low key feel like I be treating you pretty often. Not like treating you, but I'm always
No, she
like,
does, guys.
well, I be roasting him all the time, anyways. But when it comes to like your art stuff, whenever you show me like, oh, what do you think, or oh, look at what I'm working on, I'm always like, I feel like this, or like I feel like I'm always pointing out stuff to you, and sometimes I feel kind of like bogus doing that. I'm not saying it to you in a mean
Yeah,
way
yeah.
or anything like that, but I'm just like, I don't know.
But see, at the same time, I know you're gonna tell me the truth. You know, if it's bad, you're gonna tell me, right? And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for everybody to be like, "Oh, bro, that's badass." I'm not looking for that. Like, I'm looking for, bro, that looks off. Her face is busted. You know, her hand looks like a fucking that dude from Scary Movie. You know, like that's what I'm looking for, you know. So don't ever think like, oh man, dude, like I roasted the fuck. I mean, I was asking for it, you know. I know how you are, so I know you're not
Yeah.
gonna sugarcoat it if it's really that bad.
I mean, I don't think anything you do was ever really that bad, but I do sometimes catch you slipping, especially when it comes to words where
Oh
you
yeah, dude.
your spelling, and sometimes like when you try to form like sentences,
Yeah,
I'm like, you didn't really.
yeah. See, guys. So I don't be bullshitting. I'm really not that much of a great reader. Yeah. So I literally gotta have everything written in front of me before I actually start with letters.
Yeah, so y'all know.
Yeah.
um,
But
I forgot what we were saying for like a second.
uh
Oh yeah, just your overall process and all that stuff. So that's why I always felt like you just jump into it because I'm like sometimes your stuff wouldn't be symmetrical or you would just go into it and then have some sort of like writing in your picture and I'm like misspelled
oh my god,
that.
dude, I would hate it when she would be like, you know, you misspelled that, or you.
And I feel so bad. It's after like one of your things. I'm not gonna say which one. Where I was like, that doesn't really make sense, but you already finished it. And I was like, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
say
yeah,
which
yeah.
one it is.
No, yeah, there's been plenty of times that happen, you know, and it fucking sucks, man. Because
Yeah,
when you have a physical piece and you're like, fuck, I just finished. Looks badass, right? And you show somebody that you know
yeah.
that's clear minded because you know I'm in the fog,
Because
right?
you're gonna be biased about, especially, and that's what they say. Like whenever you're working on your own stuff, always take a step back, look at it from far away, or have like another set of eyes look at it. Because you're not gonna see where you're fucking up or where you can edit.
Yeah, I definitely don't see it until you actually tell me. That's why I'm always telling you.
I know, and then I'm always like,
Yeah, and dude, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be bummed out because I'm like, fuck, man, I just
spent all that time and shit.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
over here like, fuck, man, I'm about to get bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
You thought
I know, yeah,
I
and then you straight up like you just be like, hey, you know, you misspelled that. That looks off. I'm like, fuck. And when it comes to
that shit is so sad.
yeah, and when it comes to physical, that's even more devastating because you know you have to. either cut that whole part and paint it over.
Or so wash.
Yeah, dude. And oh
Oh man, I know. I think I told you how there was this one drawing I was working on, and it was really nice. I was so proud of it. It was a pencil drawing that I worked on for like ever, and I wanted to give like that effect on the edges of the paper, like that burned effect.
my.
I fucked up and the shit caught on fire, and I was over here like trying to stop it before it got at least to the face
Yeah.
part of the girl that I was drawing. At least wherever it was salvageable where I could cut it out and shit.
Uh-huh.
Nah, it was late, and I was like, "Oh, fuck this!" And I just threw it in the sink, and I put the water on it because I'm like, "Damn, that freaking tired." I was so that shit is sad.
Yeah. but but have you ever like destroyed something like that but still salvaged it? Because
Nah.
I don't know if you've seen on Facebook. I mean, sometimes it'll show, but people that burn
hmm
the a drawing or a painting and then give it that effect of burn.
Oh, okay. I think I see what you're saying. Nah, this was
It was gone.
yeah.
No, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was that cheap ass like Walmart art book
Oh, okay,
paper,
yeah,
which is just
yeah.
that soft ass paper and shit.
Yeah, if you're using Crayola paper now.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was sad as hell. But have you ever tried? I forgot. I'm sure there's a name for it. Like there's a name for everything. It might be more of an art exercise than anything. Or no, like people do continuous line drawings.
Oh, continuous lines and oh, I can't do that. I get lost.
Yeah, or
It looks messy to
or
me.
like
Well,
Bob.
if I do it, if I do it,
Ah,
yeah,
gotcha. Or like Bob Ross, like happy little accidents. Like you don't erase your mistake, you work with it. Have you ever tried doing that?
nah. If I feel like it's a mistake, it.
Like it ruined whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, we still got the other camera, but yeah, if I have a
Which
paint,
one?
the GoPro, yeah, so that little one,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, we still got those two. But yeah, if I have if I have a painting or a drawing, and I know I have a mistake, if I don't erase that mistake and clear it out, then
It's
I
gonna
know,
bug you.
yeah, it's gonna bug me, yeah, and I'll know it's a mistake, and then I'll let people know, like, oh yeah, I fucked up right there.
True. But if they don't notice,
Well, that's the thing with me. If I know,
like you see it. If
yeah,
other people don't see it, you're like, I still fucking see.
and I let people know.
Like the fucking I love SpongeBob. The fucking SpongeBob episode with the fucking gray little dot on the dollar.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Krabs, you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
And they're all like, oh fuck, like they could see it, but he couldn't. No, actually, no, I'm lying. He
No,
did see it.
no. I think it was Patrick that didn't see it, but SpongeBob saw it.
Okay. No, I don't know, but at the end though, like it was still that one little ass dot
That
was
was
on the dollar. I haven't seen the episode in a long time on my memory shit, but
that was one of my favorites.
I want to say Mr. Krabs saw it, and then he was like, "Oh, you good?" No, wait, I'm tripping.
No,
It
no.
started as the dot, and then it covered the whole bill.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then Mr. Krabs like, "Ah, it's washable."
yeah,
Sass.
yeah.
That's wild.
Shout out SpongeBob.
It was his birthday recently too.
The
SpongeBob.
voicer.
Nah, actual
Oh,
SpongeBob. I forgot when. Ah,
isn't
shit.
he a Virgo?
No, his birthday just passed.
Oh,
Because it was. I shared it on my Facebook. It was a picture of his driver's license,
yeah.
and it said his birthday on there. Damn, I love you, SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. So I guess another question I've always kind of had or wondered, because you always get all these ideas and stuff. Do you ever have like artist block?
Oh hell yeah, all the time.
It doesn't seem that way.
Well, the thing is, well, it might not seem that way, but I definitely do. The thing is, now I venture into so many things that it doesn't look like I have writer's block. It's just it just looks like I'm working. But yeah, I mean, there's times where I don't pick up a monster for at least a couple days. I think the longest has been a week, but that's because of the podcasting.
Yeah, you're doing other stuff too.
Yeah, and then I'll pick up the digital art now that I have it. I've been having it for at least a good 3 months now, 4 months. And then and even before the digital art, I would do little canvases here and there. So I was painting, working on my finger painting because I don't use brushes, guys. I actually use my finger, the marker, and then I use my finger to blend.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I hate brushes. I mean, I'll use a brush to give a good coat, but I hate, I can't.
You haven't tried like sponges?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
That's even more hard. Imagine like a block, like imagine a brick, and that's your brush.
But there's like different size ones.
Yeah, I know, but that's how I feel when I use a sponge.
Oh, do you feel like it's
Just a big block.
awkward?
Yeah. Even the ones that are like thin as hell and with like
Because there's like the makeup triangle sponges and Illuminati, no, the little like makeup wedge sponges. There's like cheap ass ones at like the Dollar Tree and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've tried it, but nah. Only for effects. So like using two colors and then a sponge to like give it to soak it up so it gives it a nice effect of like some weird shit.
but like to blend too though.
Oh, but I never used it like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But I guess like whenever you do have artist block, granted, it helps that you have other creative outlets that you're doing at the same time too. But even like before all this, before you had, your podcast and the cans and stuff, when it was just mostly you drawing, like if you ever had artist block at that time, what were you doing to try to get inspired again?
Yeah, I definitely do like to ramble.
It's cool. I mean, I know you. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so going back to in the past, how would you counteract your artist block?
yeah, so with that, a good recommendation is kicking it with friends or other creators, people that do art. I shoot now, like when I started to kick it somewhat kick it with, or just talk to other artists, man. It's just, they give you inspiration. Like, holy shit, they kind of open up your eyes to what they're doing, and that kind of gives you an idea what to do. And
You're just feeding off each other.
yeah, and I shit you not. So if I'm not drawing, I'm either watching YouTube or playing video games, right? So if I had writer's block, I would do one of those things.
It's artist block. Go on. Writer's block is for writers.
Yeah, I mean, I would go on YouTube and watch graffiti videos, compilations or
Yeah.
tattoo videos or whatever. Uh, well, video games, it was more just something to relax, maybe just get my head away from the creativity, just be done for a minute.
A break.
Yeah, break and just, zone out into some video games.
Yeah.
So those would be my things. And then also, depending on who you are, if you're a smoker, maybe stop, give it a break for a day or two, get back on it, see if that gives you creativity, because sometimes, you know, that can, you're too much in the clouds.
So like a tolerance again, you're building that up or not? Or just like coming
No,
back down to reality.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in a way, coming back to reality, clearing up your mind, because you can be in the smoke too much, and you forget where you're
Get
at.
lost in the sauce.
Yeah, basically.
To quote Gucci Mane.
Yeah, and but if you're not a smoker or anything, just do something creative, like go out, exercising. Having a job, I think also helps, because I remember working at my previous job. I would have so many fucking ideas right there at work.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I would, because I was right there bored, just doing my job, and then I was like, this idea would be dope. A Guadalupe in this color or this style would be dope. or just ideas like that. They'll come to me at work.
Yeah.
But that's because my job was what's it called when you're doing repetitive.
Yeah, repetitive.
So I didn't really have to move or think much. So a lot of my thinking was just in my head. It was just like that.
Oh, okay. Whenever you do come up with ideas, what do you like? Do you just remember them later, or do you like write them down somewhere?
I try to keep them in my head as long as
A
possible.
mental list.
Yeah, until I get home. But that's the thing, like sometimes I'll have a bunch of ideas in like in an hour. Some stronger than others.
Yeah.
The ones I keep are the ones that I see vividly,
Yeah.
like a clear picture.
Right.
Though the ones that I really don't think are good, or I forget. But yeah, if I write it down, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck did I write?
Nah, I get you. The reason I ask because like I used to kind of do that.
What? Try to
Like,
remember or
nah, hell nah. I mean, like if it's something like you said, like vivid in your mind, you're like, okay, I know what I want to do, and at least do like a rough sketch or something.
yeah.
But if it was just like a basic concept, like that ass girl, something like just adjectives of what I was thinking in my mind to do.
Yeah, like I mean, I could do that, right? But it's not gonna. If I have it in my mind, like girl, flower, skull, I know exactly how I want to. I know exactly how I see it in my head. I
Yeah.
can write it down, but later on, when I go back to that note, it might not
You're
show
like,
up.
what the fuck are these words?
No, no, I know how to spell girl.
No, I'm not saying that. I was not talking shit about your spelling. I was just saying like, oh, you wouldn't remember like that idea.
Well, I mean, if I go back to the note and I read it, it's gonna be more like it's not. I might not remember exactly how I first saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Instead of being like this, it's gonna be like this. No.
that's true. You're funny. You thought I was talking shit about your spelling,
I know.
damn.
I was like, dang, dude. Bogus host. You see, guys, I'm a good host.
Mm.
Somewhat, right?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Nah, you're a good host. People fuck with you. Damn. So I can only imagine, because I know your first art show, you're really nervous about it.
Oh yeah.
But I can't imagine in your shoes like how that really went and felt for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I said it on the podcast because I mentioned the art show, and shout out Vic again. He's the person that set it up. I thought I brought good art, but to tell you the truth, I know I could have done better. I should have done better by filling up the whole store or the whole spot I was at. And I'm not gonna lie, like man, it was definitely exciting though. Like and
Yeah.
I knew I should have done better, but it was still exciting to just have people look at what I brought. Oh, dude, I was so fucking nervous. The first day I was like, dude, I hope people come.
Yeah.
I hope Vic is not just playing because Vic was also a DJ at my art event, art show. I mean, and
Because that was like what spring art scene, right?
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, bro. I was just like, hopefully people come by and so that way Vic just has people to play music for and stuff.
I mean, honestly, if I were you, I'd be glad that there was at least music in the background, even if like you
Yeah.
didn't have Vic or an actual like someone DJing. I would have like if I were you, I would have still had some sort of music, so it wasn't just like that noise and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's another thing too. Like shout out Vic. He could have been doing so many things. Like he chose to be with my art show both days.
Yeah.
Didn't ask for a penny. Like a lot of people don't do that. I think there are some homies out there and stuff, but like Vic barely knew me. Like when he did that art show for me, we barely talked a few times.
Yeah.
So I was all over the place. I was like very grateful. I was definitely nervous. I definitely felt I could have done better. I was definitely excited though, just to be out there. Um,
Yeah, because a lot of people did tell you like you had nice stuff and like people that were just casually coming in doing the whole um art scene and stuff stop by and they're like, oh, it's nice, or like, oh, good job. I'm sure that felt nice.
Oh yeah. Well, the first day was like fog, because not that many people showed up. For sure, because the next day, that's when a lot more people showed up, and I definitely felt a big relief when that happened.
True, but I want to say though, like the first day, if I recall correctly, it was kind of shitty out too, though, wasn't it? Or am I making this up in my mind?
I think you're tripping, Jacqueline. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't horrible neither.
Outside.
Yeah, yeah, it might have been cold, but it wasn't like freezing.
True.
Yeah. But I do want to mention this because I don't know if I have, but I'm pretty sure I have. Like the second day, I knew I wanted to keep doing this because at the end of the day, I did a raffle, for anybody that came by and like wasted $10 or $20 on in the shop, not my art, just the shop. They put their name on a piece of paper for a raffle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then this guy, he at the end of the day, on the second day, I picked his name out, and I was picking names out until.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Go on.
Yeah. I was picking names out until all the pieces were done, or I ran out of names. So when I picked out this dude's name, I told him, "Hey man, come by the shop where I'm at. You want a piece? You pick out the piece you want." And I told him like it's free. You already won. The money you spent to enter, that's what you wasted already. And he was like, "Oh, cool." And he came back, and I believe he gave me $200 for something that he already won. But this is what he said. I hope I'm not, over fabricating it. But he was like, "Man, he really loved the art. He really loved it. He thought it was super dope. That he didn't want it for free." And I was like, "Holy shit!" He gave me $200, bro. Like it didn't hit me until like where City Hall is.
Yeah.
I actually started to get emotional. I was like, "Man, dude, like." People there's people out there that do believe in art.
Yeah, they see the potential. Obviously, at that point, you didn't think you were ready, or you weren't at the caliber of like other people, maybe at the time.
Yeah, I definitely didn't, man. Once I stepped onto the
Well,
art
like,
scene, I was like, "That's a bunch of artists."
yeah, there's a lot of like if you guys in the Rockford area never gone to art scene, check it out sometime. There's a lot of different stuff and like artists, and it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if this is gonna be out by then. Maybe not, but I'm going to be at the 317 Art Collective. My Roots, My Wings.
That's in September 8th. What date again? You know offhand?
No, not offhand.
Well, I know it's for like Hispanic heritage.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a month long. Yeah, man. I'm going to probably register either 2 monsters and 1 skateboard.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I definitely got some shit up my sleeve.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I was like, but yeah, I remember that, and you were really like. At first, I feel like you were shocked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, he really appreciated you.
Well, yeah, and it's just really. I mean, yeah, because imagine I tell you, "Hey, you won this already. This is yours already."
Yeah.
And you're
like you're not expecting it.
Yeah, and especially $200, dude. Like a drawing like that it would have cost me like from me to you would have been like what $30 because it was those paper drawings where the paint and the cutouts and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like a very young drawing.
Yeah. You just starting to really put yourself out there like that.
Yeah, and yeah, man, crazy time, but like I'm glad I experienced it.
Yeah, like you've grown a lot, not just art wise. You've gotten as everyone who keeps doing what they're good at with time, you get better. So besides art wise and doing all these different things with art, shit, where was I? Like I've seen you grow skill wise, but also as an artist, as a person, you really opened up to. Don't cry. No, just like
No, I'm not crying.
no. I don't know. Sometimes you be looking sad and
I know,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
You're looking at me
They
like.
call me sad boy. Nah, I was fine.
Anyways, like you've come a long way to want to try to put yourself out there. That's honorable.
Oh yeah, man. To tell you the truth, well,
Because I know you're not an outgoing person. You don't even like to be out and about like that. So, it's different.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. To tell you the truth, it's not easy. To be who I am and then do this, it's like a whole 360. And then nobody ever taught me how to be who I'm trying to be right now. Like
Who are
I,
you trying to be?
who I'm
Or
trying,
where do you want to get to?
who I want to get.
I said where, or I don't know. Shut up. You know what I mean?
I was gonna name a actress, but I totally spaced out. But I definitely now that I've been doing this and meeting people like Vic, Chris, Manny, fucking LGC, hooligans, etc., etc. Calvin. Uh, I just want to be a positive influence. I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to be a positive influence to be whoever you want to be. So if you think you're a loser, I mean, shit, I'm a loser. I mean, look at me now. I have a podcast. People give me respect by coming on and talking to me. So you know, you can be whatever you want. I used to think if you didn't know what you wanted to be by your 20s, you're gonna be somebody that's gonna be lost. But I learned that you can be however old, and you know, you'll find what you want to do eventually. And I hope I'm not dragging it out because at the same time, again, I nobody ever taught me how to do what I'm doing, so it's kind of hard for me to put it into words.
Well, it's a different lane.
Yeah, definitely, it definitely is. I thought it was gonna be easy, but it's very difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't give up. Even if you eat dirt for a couple weeks straight,
Right.
keep going.
Eating dirt.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, shit. There's times where I definitely want to get people on, but those people are too busy or just I'm not in the same realm as them, which is totally respectable. I definitely don't want to force nobody. Everything I do is natural. Time is natural. Either it's gonna be now or never. I'm not gonna beg for it, but I would love to make it happen.
Yeah, because I guess what even made you want to do a podcast? Because I remember when you told me, you're like, oh, I'm going to start a podcast. I was like, why?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, first of all, like, you don't even be like going to talk to people like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But then what I pictured when you said, like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast, I thought it'd be more like a gaming type thing.
I mean,
Or,
gaming is more streaming, but
yeah, like streaming, Twitch type shit,
yeah.
podcasting, videos, stuff like that.
No,
That's what I pictured because, like, you can actually just do that on your own
yeah.
and just do your thing and just comment.
And you know what's funny? I started around the pandemic, so that was even fucking hard. And again, that's
And it
where.
seems like more people started obviously podcasting because of the pandemic.
Oh yeah, yeah. The podcasting thing has gone up so much that it's hard to get people's attention. Because everybody and their mama got a fucking podcast. You know,
Yeah.
like. But the reason why I started my podcast was because I saw. Well, I I I'm a connoisseur of podcasts. I love to watch.
Watch other.
Yeah, I
Yeah, okay.
love to watch the Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee, the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan, Your Mama's House, Tom Segura and Christina P. The list goes on. So
Yeah.
seeing the dynamic of friends, comedian friends coming on each other's podcast, talking shit, being like, oh, I got this show, it seems cool, right? And then when I went out there to the art scene in Rockford, I was like, dude, look at all this talent, man. Like, how come there's no platform that shows off these skills, or somebody that doesn't really have a name can go on somebody's platform like a radio station or something, and talk about their skills and how they do what they do. I didn't really see that, so I put two and two together. I love podcasting. It somewhat seems simple, which it wasn't. It's very difficult, and there's plenty of talent in Rockford. So I just put put those two together, and I just started the podcast.
All right. So you basically just wanted to create a platform for local artist creators, just to put them out there because you felt like you probably didn't even know a lot of the people that are out here in the city and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is somewhat podcast out here, but the thing is, it's about either not really specifically creators here. It's more like just kicking it, or just media updates.
Like news stuff.
Yeah, news stuff.
Like Rockford Scanner type shit, or
yeah, basically, but more like into hip hop. They talk about
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And yeah. Don't get me wrong. It took me a minute to mold exactly what I wanted to do. For sure, I know I wanted to bring cool people up here that knew how to draw or create, right? And yeah, so I just basically followed, like Joe Rogan, like, and not like when he brings scientists, but more like when he brings a friend. That's what I want to do. It's like bring a friend, have them talk about themselves.
Yeah, that seems cool.
Yeah, it was weird. It is weird, because again, I'm not that person that really talks. So
I was thinking something to roast you with going.
yeah, I mean, and I just it took time to get used to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I stuck to it because there's so many times I wanted to give up. It's not easy.
Yeah, because I remember when you first, I forgot, I think it was after your first video that you did. You're like, I don't know how to fucking edit the videos. And you were so frustrated about it.
Yeah.
You're like, I forgot what the fuck you said, but you were just like over it already.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, because it's not just putting a camera in front of you and talking. You got to have a program, and then you got to.
Oh, that's what it was. I think you thought you deleted a video or something, like you fucked it all up or trying to fix.
Well, no, for sure. My first issue was downloading the first episode.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like it, because I didn't know about file size or just files in general. So that took me a minute. And the first episode, if you guys see on my podcast, it's a two-parter, but that whole two-parter is a whole part. It's just I didn't know how to edit and upload, so it took it in two.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what it was. You're right. Damn. So you really had to teach yourself how to do a lot of.
Yeah, and I mean, I pulled up YouTube. Like why can't I upload an hour-long video? It's because you gotta be certified. You gotta make sure you qualify. Not for the paid ads, but like because when you like your account, you can only upload maybe up to like 5-10 minutes max. You have to go through some very verifications in order to start uploading hour-long videos and stuff.
Oh, okay. So
And I didn't know that, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
like, damn, you too.
I swear, dude. But me and you, so far, me and YouTube is getting along.
There's no beef there.
Nah, as long as they don't copyright my shit.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that for real.
Yeah, because at first I was getting a lot of copyrights, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" But it's because I wasn't putting the information of the songs on the video, and
Yeah,
that's something you don't know. You know, it's not like they tell you because they don't want to tell you because
because they try and get their money.
yeah, you know, because obviously that goes, you know, the copyright goes to whoever I copyrighted, which I didn't fucking know. I was like, what the fuck?
Hmm. And that's why I would tell you when you used to draw like common images, I like don't be doing that
Yeah,
because if they want to copyright your ass,
yeah,
they will.
no, and I figured that out when I started to sell on Etsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what? You can get
But
copyright?
there's still a lot of people on Etsy that sell shit that's already like a logo of something or
Yeah.
a
Well,
recognizable image.
there's I mean, people work. They know how to work around that. You know? They
Mm.
can take out the eyes, and it's not really copyright. It's a fabricated image, if I'm using that right. Like they re-edit it or something.
There's a word for that, and I forgot.
Yeah. So Jackie, how? I mean, I don't know. You know, whenever you're done, definitely let me know. You know, because we are at that hour and 30 minutes, give or take 5 or 10 minutes.
I mean, I think we went through most of my questions. Unless you just want to talk shit, I don't know.
Nah, we'll definitely save it for the second one.
Oh, okay. You want it?
What was that on?
I guess just to close out your video, just like mention the people, events that you have. I mean, you already kind of did events that you have coming up, or events to let the people know that are going to be going on.
Well, this video for sure is gonna majority of the events that I'm gonna mention might pass or might be during.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah. No, I mean, there might be a little edit in the beginning, like, yeah. But
but I guess what is your closing message that you want to give to the people, or just to? I know we touched on your podcast earlier, and I was gonna ask you like maybe for those who are interested in coming on, what they should know about what you're not gonna accept on the podcast. Obviously, you want people that are creative and stuff to come on here and talk
yeah,
and stuff, but I know that you specifically have certain things that you're not trying to promote or have on
yeah,
here.
yeah. A few of them things are don't message me your followers. Your don't message me that you have this or that. I'm not impressed by that. I'm impressed by work ethic. If you have the work, I'm gonna see it. If you're working out here, I'm gonna see it. You know, like you can have 1,000, 10,000 followers. I don't care. You know, I'll interview a guy that has 5 followers as long as he has the work. I definitely don't want to promote hatred. You know, that's why I never ask. What was it called? Clout questions. That's what I call them. You know, clout questions. You know, I'm not with that. I'm here for the art, the creativity. Um, oh yeah, and if I feel like you're in the streets and stuff, yeah, that's a big red flag, guys. You know, I am doing this out of my parents' house, so I definitely don't want to bring people like that around here. You know, especially if I'm gonna be like, man, I hope he doesn't come around. You know, but
All right, so closing statement, closing.
yeah, closing statement is yeah, just be yourself. Don't care what. Don't care too much about other people's opinion on who you are. Because that's a big thing that I used to worry about, and it took me forever to focus on myself. And now I'm a 28-year-old that knows what he wants to do. So be yourself and fuck the haters.
Just like, I don't even know what camera I'm looking at, to be honest.
Well, yeah, just the GoPro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. It definitely helps me out and the algorithm. I found out about. I
Like
found.
why you think they always say like and subscribe?
Yeah, and the algorithm. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh fuck, you know. So I'm gonna start
So
mentioning.
hit the like, subscribe, share with people. You know, get my man's YouTube page popping.
Yeah. Until then, stay tuned and stay safe.